Why won't your team use the AI tools you bought? Many organizations invest thousands of dollars in AI platforms, roll out access to entire teams, and expect immediate productivity improvements. Instead, they discover login rates stay low, usage remains sporadic, and business results never appear. Leadership grows frustrated. Teams seem resistant. The technology sits unused despite its potential. In this video, we will explain why AI tool adoption fails in most organizations and what businesses must do differently to achieve real implementation. The biggest mistake companies make with AI adoption happens during training. Most organizations approach AI implementation as a technology rollout. They purchase platforms, schedule demos, and show teams which buttons to click. Training focuses on features rather than problems. Employees learn what ChatGPT can do without understanding when they would actually use it for their work. This creates a gap between awareness and capability. Teams know the tools exist, but lack confidence applying them to real tasks. When people don't understand how AI solves problems they actually face, adoption remains theoretical rather than practical. Research from Manpower Group shows this pattern clearly. AI usage increased 13% in 2025, while worker confidence in using it correctly dropped 18%. Organizations achieved compliance without building competence. The result is tools that sit unused while businesses wonder why their investment produced no return. AI adoption fails when organizations treat it as a training problem rather than a trust problem. Between 78% and 86% of employees now use unauthorized AI tools like personal ChatGPT accounts rather than company-provided platforms. This shadow AI epidemic reveals something important. People want AI help. They simply don't trust organizational tools to provide solutions that actually work for their specific needs. When teams circumvent official channels at rates this high, the problem is not employee resistance. The problem is implementation approach. Successful adoption requires addressing 3 issues most organizations ignore. First, fear must be addressed before features are taught. Research shows 68% of individual contributors and 46% of managers feel anxious or overwhelmed by AI. That anxiety doesn't disappear because someone demonstrated prompt writing. When people fear job security, worry about relevance, or feel exposed by skill gaps, training alone cannot build adoption. Second, efficiency gains often get weaponized against workers. When employees save time using AI, many organizations respond by assigning more work rather than reducing stress. Teams quickly learn that adoption makes jobs harder, not easier. More than 55,000 layoffs in 2025 were attributed to AI. When major companies trim workforces citing AI capabilities, employees understand the real agenda behind adoption mandates. Third, tools must connect to actual workflow pain points. Generic platforms get purchased without understanding how different roles actually work. Marketing teams receive the same tools as finance teams, despite completely different needs. When AI feels like extra work instead of work simplification, adoption stalls regardless of training quality. Organizations achieving meaningful AI adoption follow a different implementation approach. The framework contains 4 essential steps. Successful implementations acknowledge adaptation challenges openly. Leaders commit explicitly to no AI-linked layoffs for specific timeframes. They demonstrate through concrete examples how AI augments rather than replaces human work. This builds trust that training alone never creates. Employees don't resist AI itself. They resist leaders treating transformation like a technology project instead of fundamental restructuring of how work happens. Effective implementations identify specific frustrations people experience daily, then demonstrate how AI eliminates those exact problems. Instead of training on what ChatGPT can do, they show how it removes the tedious data entry marketers hate or how it drafts the status reports engineers resent writing. This approach builds adoption from genuine relief rather than compliance. When tools solve real problems people care about, usage follows naturally. Organizations achieving results invest in hands-on practice within low-stakes environments where people experiment without pressure. Training lasts 4 to 8 hours minimum per employee with focus on prompt engineering, understanding AI limitations, and integrating outputs into actual workflows. The 56% of workers receiving no skills development despite AI rollouts explains why usage increases without corresponding business impact. Understanding when AI helps versus when human judgment matters requires deeper learning most organizations aren't providing. Successful implementations announce explicitly that AI productivity improvements will reduce workload stress, create development time for skill building, or enable higher value work rather than just piling on more tasks. Then they actually follow through. Teams adopt AI when they believe it makes their jobs better, not when they fear it makes them redundant. Consider a marketing team struggling with weekly reporting. A typical failed implementation purchases an AI platform, demonstrates its capabilities in a 1-hour training session, then expects the team to start using it immediately. When adoption stays low, leadership blames resistance or lack of initiative. A successful implementation takes a different approach. First, leaders acknowledge that AI changes how marketing work happens and commit that efficiency gains will reduce weekend work rather than increase campaign volume. This addresses the fear driving resistance. Second, they identify that weekly reporting creates the most friction for the team. Gathering data from multiple sources, analyzing performance, and drafting summaries consumes hours every week. Third, they provide hands-on training specifically focused on using AI to streamline reporting tasks. The team practices with their actual data in safe environments where mistakes don't matter. They learn how to prompt AI for data summaries, how to verify output accuracy, and how to integrate AI-generated content into their existing workflow. Fourth, when the team begins saving 3 hours per week on reporting, that time gets protected for strategic work rather than filled with additional campaigns. Within 2 months, the entire team uses AI regularly because it genuinely makes their work better. Adoption happened through trust and relevance, not mandates and features. AI tools alone do not create adoption. Adoption emerges when organizations address fear before teaching features, connect technology to genuine workflow pain points, invest in real capability building, and protect efficiency gains from becoming workload expansion. Companies that treat AI implementation as a technology rollout remain stuck with low usage and no business results. Companies that treat it as organizational change requiring trust, training, and psychological safety achieve meaningful adoption that drives measurable outcomes. If your team won't use the AI tools you bought, the problem is probably not your team. The problem is how you implemented the technology. Start by asking what fears exist, which workflow problems matter most, and whether your organization treats efficiency gains as employee relief or productivity extraction opportunities. Once those issues are addressed, adoption becomes significantly easier to achieve. Follow AI Smart Ventures for practical guidance on AI implementation, team training, and adoption strategies that actually work inside real businesses.